What about you on the Raiders front? Anything
I
going
mean,
on there?
the Kirk Cousins thing is now official.
Yeah. God. Yeah. It's like father son happening over there. God. The Mendoza and Kirk Cousins thing. It's like his long lost son. Like
I know they're like
the pack of the dad went to go get a pack of smokes and he's come back home like or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense if you wanted a veteran quarterback presence and I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, this is great for Mendoza. He's going to get tutored. I don't know if it works that way. I think like really what it is, I think Kubiak had it right when he was at the combine and they were saying like, would you get a veteran quarterback to like mentor and coach this guy up? And he's like, that's really not like a veteran quarterback's job. The veteran quarterback's job is to be a veteran and be prepared because he's, preparing to start. So it's really about like the young quarterback observing those habits. And it's the coach's job to mentor, to train, to teach. So I feel like that's what they want they want, Cousins to come in and just do his thing, prepare like he's the starter. And that, you got remember the dog chases, the greyhounds, you got the rabbit going around the inner circle. That's Cousins, right? And you got Mendoza's the hungry young dog behind him chasing him. You don't want to hand this guy the job. I think that's kind of a problem that's developed in the NFL over the years, because for a long time, if you were drafted number 1 overall and you were a quarterback or a first round pick, it wasn't a guarantee to start. Like sometimes you just sat there and you waited your turn. And I think I was reading something or hearing something about the last time a first round draft pick really had to sit and watch was Patrick Mahomes, so most of the time now a rookie quarterback is like day 1 starter. And I think
especially the first half of the first round.
Correct.
Especially.
And I think like there's something, I think there's, one, I think if you're the Raiders, like you want to give Kubiak and his staff some time in season to make sure that this offensive line is good enough to protect your number 1 overall pick. You want to make sure that the running game is strong enough to support your rookie quarterback. Like you want to make sure that the offense is running at a pretty optimum level, and you're hoping to just plug and play Mendoza where you don't know if the offensive line is going to hold up and this guy shreds his leg. And of course, it's a violent game. An injury can happen at any moment, but you're trying to, be as prepared, as buttoned up and dialed in as possible because, as we know today with this modern NFL, the investment, the salary that goes into these players and the quarterback specifically, but also like with Mendoza most likely going number 1, he's going to be the backup, but the face of the franchise. That's just how it works now. So it's just like, it's not just the financial contract that you're giving the kid, it's everything else. Like it is the marketing, it's the face of the franchise. And I just think it's going to be a great pick. I'm just like any other fan. I would love to see Mendoza right off the bat. But at the same time, I understand that you may want to take a conservative approach to rolling them out there onto the field because you want to make sure your O-line is good. Your running game is strong. You need to figure out who's going to be your wide receiver in your wide receiver room. What's the defense going to look like? Because if the defense is not very good and you're not getting any stops, it's going to be a long day for this team. And, that's when injuries happen and, the wheels on the bus come off. So I think that's like that's the best way to go in handling this. And I think too, is like, like I said last week, they got 10 picks. So there's an opportunity to trade up or down, like I could very much see the Raiders trade up back into the rear end of the first round because of that the 5th year option. So if you want to move up and say you want to move up 32, 31, because there's a wide receiver that you really like, or an offensive tackle that you really like because Colton Miller's getting up there in age, and you feel like you want to move up to because you want that 5th year option. So that's the balance that they have to go through of, value is if you do hit on a wide receiver, you got him for 5 years, under that rookie contract, where if you get him at say 4 years, and I think we talked about this a little bit, it was with the Saints. It looks like the Saints hit on their quarterback. We'll find out in the years to come, but they're going to have to pay him in a couple years. Yeah. Because of that, they took him in the 2nd round, so they don't have that 5th year option. So that's what the modern NFL salary cap and moving up in the draft. So I could see the Raiders moving up and getting another 1st round pick because of that 5th year option. But at the same time, I can also see them trading down from the 2nd round and obtaining more picks in say the end of the 2nd and into the 3rd. Yeah, because I think this team just needs. I think the thing that SpyTech wants is as many lottery tickets as you can get.
I was literally about to say that exact word.
You want all the lotto tickets. As many
lotto tickets as possible.
You want all the lotto tickets, and then also too like depth. Like you want to turn this roster over. You want to look at all the coaches, dude. Kubiak's a younger guy. The offensive coordinator, Jockno's a younger guy. Rob Leonard, the defensive coordinator, is a younger guy. So I think like it's not that they can't communicate to veteran players, but look at the free agent class. They're all like 27 years old on 3-year deals. So like definitely they're trying to get on the younger side of 30. And I think, they're going to try to turn this roster over and have a bunch of young guys and competitive alpha male dogs out there. I think that's what they're trying to build is get as many dudes in here to compete and really turn this roster over. And I'm just excited for it. I don't expect a 10-win, 11-win season, but I expect the foundation to truly start being laid. And I definitely think this is like the turnover that now that we're in it, it's just definitely a welcome fresh air. And it finally feels like the Raiders are doing the rebuild the right way. And hopefully this is the last time they draft number 1 overall for a very long time. I would very much rather be drafting 32 because that means you're winning the big game. So, but overall, man, Raiderland, it's feeling pretty good. I feel like the only move that I'm kind of like a head scratcher is the kicker. So I can't see them going into the season with Matt Gay, who had worse numbers than Daniel Carlson last year. But I suspect they're going to draft a kicker or sign another kicker and have some type of competition. But that so far, that's really been the only head scratcher. But that's fine. It's a kicker.
Yeah.